What even are we doing?
That is an
I just
excellent
showed up.
question. We're doing a blind tasting. So not last week, this was a couple weeks ago, I talked about how we went to this distillery, Red Eagle Distilling, and I really enjoyed their product. One of the things that I noticed is that their product was what people call very crafty. There's a certain note.
It's suspicious.
There's a certain
It's
note
crafty.
where people are like, hey, this tastes like craft. What that note necessarily is, I'm not 100% sure. I don't know what causes it. I do want to do some more research and maybe talk to some distillers about it. But I kind of found 3 other whiskeys that I think have that same crafty note to it and are roughly the same size as Red Eagle. They're bigger than Red Eagle. They are very small. But we have Pensive Distilling. This is their 100 proof bourbon. We have Watershed, their uncut, unfiltered, and Heart Building Company's, what is it, that pre-prohibition style, I believe is that one.
Yes.
Yeah. So we've got 4 different ones, and we are going to do a blind tasting of them to see which one is the best crafty tasting whiskey. So we are going to be using the lovely solo blind from Whiskey Noobs, because this makes it very easy to set up a blind for multiple people if you want to do it that way, or if you want to just do by yourself. But we are going to be doing 4 different ones, and we are going to speed run this part. But we have a trick of doing her 4 versus my 4, so we don't actually have to share, because I don't like sharing. Okay, so after you fill that up, you can go ahead, drop this guy over top, make sure it actually sits in its spots, and you can just give it a good spin.
Can I request a dual blind edition? I want it 2 tiers.
If you can figure out...
No, I just want Whiskey Noob to make it.
Okay, so she has no idea where those are. Huh?
Maybe we just need 2 of them.
So you can take these and set them off to the side. But I have these little pieces of paper that we're going to stick underneath them. And I'm going to pick them up with the piece of paper. They're all roughly the same size. No, I'm not going to remember which one has which thing on it. Need my pencil. And I'm just going to quickly do this. We're going to set these on top of here. And yes, I can spin this decently and they're not going to move too far, especially when I have all of them on there at the same time. Deal with it. So what we are going to do is we are going to go through, taste these blindly, and we are going to try to label which one we think is just the best. We are not going to try to guess which one is which distillery. If we realize that one tastes like a certain distillery, we might let you know, but we're not going for that. That's not the goal. The goal is to find which one is the best and what are the characteristics that we find in each one. For most of YouTube, this is going to just be sped up. I might end up posting the slowed down our conversation version on Patreon eventually, but we will see. So let's dive into it.
Oh my gosh. It's going to smell like whiskey.
I don't know. It's like cat pee.
Ew. Smell like cat pee. So mine in order just seem to be going in softer smells. And I'm confused if my nose is slowly breaking.
I mean, make sure you can clear your nose.
I mean, I'm pretty sure it just happens to be the order. But also maybe I'm breaking.
So we have had all of these whiskeys before, but coming back to them now, after almost a year maybe of not having some of them, this is bizarre.
It wasn't broken. My 4th one tastes strong again. Smells. Nose. I mean, smells basically taste. It's fine. What are your noses so far?
Oh, did you only do noses?
Yeah.
Oh, I started tasting.
Oh, I feel like I was concerned that once I tasted one, my first one just happened to have such an aggressive nose that I was concerned if I tasted it.
Well, give me one moment. I'll let you know, because...
Okay.
Oh, okay, we got a little something going on here.
I want to taste maybe in the order as the weakest smelling nose. I don't know if that's a thing, but that's what I'm going to do.
So things ours aren't in order, so this might not help you guys at all, and I'm not going to go back post-production and tell you which one is. Maybe I will. That wouldn't actually be that hard to put which one's which, as long as we actually keep them in the right order, which doesn't always happen.
Oh, it got me. Dear Lord.
Same. I think just knowing what's in here, if one got us, I think I know which one that is because there's one that is higher proof than all the rest. To be fair, I don't know what the Red Eagle proof is. I'm not going to look now, but so when people say crafty, I'm assuming they're talking about this kind of dusty, almost like grainy note to it. If you guys have ideas for what the crafty note is, if you know what we're talking about, or if you have experienced that from any craft distilleries, drop a comment down below because I feel like different people label it as different things. Okay, I think I know which one I have as number 3. Now I just need to find my number 1.
This is really hard work. I feel like I'm the reverse of you. I actually have a clear favorite that I would go back to. Can I just pick number 1 and then not the others can just be a tie?
Okay.
These ones I'm calling 2/3 because they're both second and third place.
So we're going to start with our number 4. 4th place for Heather, that was your number 1, or like whatever on
Can
your
I
left side.
reveal it?
Yes, you can reveal it.
Hartfield and Co. Oh, I love you guys though.
That is one of my favorites. That's actually typically the one I'm like, I distinctly know this. If I get it in a blind, I can typically pick it out. I tried specifically not to do that this time. But why did you put that as number 4?
It just has a very strong, like, corn smell. Almost like a white dog corn smell, almost.
Okay.
And I feel like I don't know what the age statement is on it, but I feel like I almost would want it longer, maybe?
So this was Heather's number 4. This is batch 72, bottle 53. Small batch, they don't put the age statement on here, so it at least has to be 4 years.
When you drink it, it's like one that feels really sweet with like a spicy heat note present. But the nose feels like very heavy corn.
So mine was my number 3, was my number 4, and this was Watershed Uncut Unfiltered. I put them as number 4. This one, I honestly just said on the nose, I didn't get anything particular, just
I
basic
think
bourbon
that's
notes.
my number 3. Can I actually reveal my number 3?
You can reveal your number 3.
Because that's the same notes that I had. It's Watershed!
So what did you put for Watershed?
I said it's ethanol and faint hopes of dreams of cookies.
That checks out.
I thought, like, once you taste it, the predominant flavor to me is, like, you get, like, some initial heat in the front, and then it switches to maybe, like, a light cinnamon.
Yeah.
But it leaves you quickly, it comes quickly. I don't think it would stand up well in a cocktail.
I think this is a
This is a
bourbon.
summer sipper.
I disagree. I think this is a
Really?
bourbon that you throw in a cocktail that you're like, I just want it to taste like bourbon.
Oh, I guess, like, when I say stand up in a cocktail, I mean, like...
Get the flavors of the whiskey.
Yeah. Yeah, I think of...
This guy's
Like, this-
61.1%.
He seems mellow.
So my number 3 was this guy, my number 1, which I said the nose was a little grainy with some spice to it, like some cloves. Same on the
I
flavor.
bet that's H&C.
It is. It's Hartfield and Company. I like this one. It's got like this little nutty note to it.
Yeah.
And then it's like clovey. It reminds me
Yeah.
of cloves, which I think is
coffee was one of the notes I
yeah,
got with it.
I can see that.
It's overall pretty sweet, clovey. See, I think that's just not something I necessarily would gravitate towards, like, drinking fully straight, but I would, like, in something, I feel like it would still have that really strong flavor. It won't mellow out. It feels like it's bold, and it's like, hey, pay attention to me.
All right. What was your number? I guess what was your other number 3?
My other number 3 was this one, which is Pensive.
Pensive was my number 2.
Wow. Wait, does this mean...
It does.
Oh.
That's wild. So I said this one had a just like very basic bready caramel note,
Mhm.
and then it was very dusty, malty, and sweet.
Yeah. I said this was the one that I was maybe like the dustiness is like the wood. I don't know. I felt like there's a wood influence.
Yeah.
Like if you licked a fine piece of wooden furniture and could taste.
I hope that's not what fine furniture tastes like.
I don't know. I've not licked fine furniture. I don't even own fine furniture. I also thought there might be an orange. Like a slight,
I did
super
put
faint.
citrus as well.
But I thought it leaned more orange versus like a lemon. Yeah, I
That
like
is a
it.
note that I always get out of pensive. This just very dusty, malty note almost.
Mhm.
But I really, really enjoy that.
It's yeah. I've
I am
tasted some
shocked
pensive.
that
We
Red
seriously
Eagle came out undefeated,
we
like
both
unanimously
ranked this first.
number one. Yes.
That's crazy.
So with the Red Eagle, I said it was a corn covered cherry or cherry covered corn, and it has this very peppery note as well, but a lot of corn, a lot of this rich cherry flavor, and then like a black peppercorn.
Hmm. I kind of see what you mean by the black peppercorn. I initially was being like maybe a nutmeg,
There's definitely some spices.
but I could see black peppercorn being perhaps a better description.
And then on the palate, I said this was citrus and honestly a lot of heat, but
Hmm.
the predominant thing is obviously there's the basic whiskey flavor, don't get me wrong, but I get a lot of citrus, like a lot of lemon.
Hmm. I think I specifically noted that I got more of like an essential oil citrus. Like,
Kind of like the if you were to express the oil of the lemon.
yeah. It's not
Hmm.
like the juice of the lemon. It feels like it's like the zesty, you know? And I
Yeah.
feel like that's what's pairing well with the spiciness that's going on. And it's very beautiful. Like I could drink this just straight and be very happy.
I mean, it is very good. And to put
I am
this in
shocked.
perspective, the size
Yeah,
of their distillery is literally the size of a small barn. Maybe
it could
a,
fit in our apartment.
yeah, their distilling area could fit in here. They have a small still, I think they have four fermentation tanks that they run,
Hmm.
and then they have one cooker. That's it. And then as far as their storage, they might be storing 40 barrels, and they're not the big guys. They're going to be a little bit smaller. I forget the exact size, but it is not a very big production. I don't know if they have all of the, that's the wrong bottle, Oof. All of the specs on here, but they do say this is pot distilled, very small batch, 45.1% alcohol. It is aged. Okay, so here's the fun part, and some people are going to get really upset about this because it's so young, but look at the color of these. I think the influence is there. So this is aged for at least 1 year in 10 to 30 gallon charred oak casks.
When I think of age statements, I am using like a quote unquote standard barrel size in my mind.
Right, which most people
So
are.
when a distillery is using a smaller barrel size, you have to kind of let that notion go.
There are some very good whiskeys that I have that are in small barrels. So Hartfield and Company, they are using small barrels for the most part. Um,
And see, that was the one I thought that tasted young. Do they
they
have their
don't have
mash build?
they don't have any of that information on there.
Ugh, I'm just so confused of what I'm tasting. It's like so strong
It's delicious.
in a way that feels young, you know? Like if I was physically blinded and you gave like this tastes almost like this smells like some of the things you would taste like right off of a still when we've done that at tours.
That is fair.
You know, like that's what makes me feel like
It is
it
very
tastes young.
it's high in corn, I think, which is the big thing.
Okay, maybe that's just what I'm getting. And that's like maybe with the flavor I would associate with quote unquote crafty, because that's the smell I would get when I'm walking into a distillery where they have all the predominantly corn,
Right.
given that I've done distillery tours in Kentucky and they make bourbon, so it's predominantly corn. I mean,
Anyways,
I am surprised that we both had the same number one.
I am very shocked, yeah.
We tend to have very different preferences. So I'm confused.
It just shows that we're just very aligned as a couple.
No, get away.
Okay, bye.
I want to be an independent woman. Have my own thoughts.
I mean, you do have your own thoughts. You pulled out that lemon oil, which I didn't even think about, because I guess that's one other thing to think about here. These are all column stilled, except for this one. This is pot stilled, and on pot still, you're typically going to get more of those oils that are going to come through. This is why I say she's the one with the better nose, and she can pick up on these things. She was able to find that oily note in there, which would only be on these. I'm pretty sure this is the only one in this that is pot stilled.
But then, I appreciate the compliment. I did also say that a note was faint hopes of dreams of cookies, so...
I am slightly sad that Hartfield & Company ranked lower in this. I do really, really enjoy Hartfield & Company. And the fact that Pensive beat out Hartfield & Company is awesome, but also kind of sad. But the Red Eagle clearly wins out today, showing once again that small craft distilleries can make some really good product. Yes, this does need to go on record being said that we've had a lot of different whiskeys, and I feel like we do hunt for the weird things every now and then. But this one I wouldn't say is weird.
I think the funniest thing, too, about the Red Eagle is that we accidentally found them. We didn't go being like, where's the tiniest little pot still around? We were driving by and I'm like, that's a cute barn.
And I'm like, that's a distillery. We're going there next.
So, sometimes life just presents you happy little accidents. Like, just embrace your inner Bob Ross and, go on the adventure.
Or your Bilbo Baggins. I'm going on an adventure. And this guy is delicious. So if you guys are ever up in Geneva, Ohio, or Geneva on the Lake, you guys should pay them a visit because this was definitely worth it.
I would say cheers, but I have a little drop left. We can cheers.
Cheers. Till next time.